Good evening, family. What is going? Let me make sure. Hold on for me. Love the setup I got going on. Is it doing me here? This one should be. Yeah, we got some good music. Family, what is going on? Happy Friday. Welcome back to another great episode of whatever it is that I call this thing that we do on Friday nights, the friends and family financial Fridays here with your favorite uncle cousin. Maybe there's just too many F's. I just need to come up with a name. Y'all can help me name it. No, you know what? I think I'm gonna stick to it. I'm all over the place tonight, y'all. It has been one incredible week. I'm so glad that it is Friday. I'm glad that we here, get to be with my people once again, because I love being here with y'all. What's going on with you, man? Let's give it a few seconds, let everybody get in and check in. And I did something to my tablet, y'all. I don't know what I done did with it. It won't come on. Like I was like trying to get it so when it come on, I can see the comments and everything, but I don't know what I done did to this thing. It just would not power on. When I plug it in, I hear the sound. And the only thing that looks like a power button is here, so I don't know if it's a power button somewhere else, but I don't know. Anyway, T-Town Shirts, what is going on, man? I know we kept missing each other, going back and forth with the emails. That day, I was just getting called, had to keep running out the office, coming back to the office. And yeah, so look, we can, if you're available, and you can definitely let me know in the chat. We can hop on a Zoom call immediately after this is over. If you have time, we can we can answer the question here. I don't know if it's something that you want to discuss it publicly, but like I said, let me know in the chat if it's something that we want to do privately. Let me know. I can send the Zoom link out to you as soon as we in here, and we can hop on it and go from there. What else? Outside of that, yeah, let me know, man. So let me get to the intro so then I can get back to you and we can go from there. Let's do it. Good evening. Welcome to my YouTube channel. For those of you who do not know me, maybe this is your first time. Maybe you were just scrolling through YouTube and happened to decide, like, what is this? Somebody's live. Let me check it out. Let me introduce myself. My name is, I got to find it on the button here, Tyrone Gregory, the self-employed tax guy, your favorite uncle cousin. And I am just here to educate us all on business and taxes, right? So tonight, what are we talking about tonight? Tonight, we're going to talk about whatever y'all want to, because honestly, I did realize that these last couple of times, I really didn't get a chance to get to everybody's questions. Felt kind of bad about that. So I said, tonight, I'm going to leave it open. Few things I know that's been going on in my mind, but tonight is purely up to you. Whatever questions you may have, by all means, type it in the chat. I can see it, answer the questions, and we'll go from there. But the first thing Donna, I see you. What is going on? You are, let me see. Can I see who's in the building? Yeah, nope, don't want to see that. Is it going to do it for me? There it is. All right, there it is. Miss Donna is in the building. Okay, I can, making sure because my tablet ain't working, so I'll be doing things old school with a mouse. Absolutely. What else is happening? Yes. So last week we had fun talking about all of the different things that are being stated on social media, right? Like social media has went from entertainment to education and all of the fun that was on there. And I have fun with, so like we all should be doing, right? We take some of our content and we break it down into little snippets, right? So I took some of that content. For those of you who follow me on social media outside of YouTube, you kind of saw that. I took that content from last week, broke it down into smaller chunks, and reposted it for purposes of doing reels. put it on TikTok, put it out there to get engagement. Right. If you notice, and this is not just by chance, this is really something strategic that I think we all should be doing, especially if we're trying to grow, scale our business, if we're trying to define a market, right? Like this is a good way to go fishing because we can sit up and see if we put this type of content out there, who's going to bite? Like what type of client is going to bite? Normally when I see people interacting with my content on social media, I hate to say that I stalk them, but I don't want to say I stalk them, but I do go do my research. I want to know, like, okay, this resonated with who? So I go look at their page. When people like and they leave a comment, I reply, say thank you, and I say, okay, let me go see what type of individual this is, because if this resonated with them, then I need to find a similar audience so I can continue to make sure that the type of content that I'm producing is resonating with the right kind of people. So I had fun doing that last week, this week, and I promised that this was the last week that I was going to do so, because it just appears that I went to war with social media. I feel like I offended some people with my social media content I put out there. Really, it's just one person. We just had one casualty last week that said that what I said was incorrect and somebody else said was absolutely correct, which leads me to a point. In T-Town Shirts, I see you said yes, send you the link. So I will definitely do that. As soon as we disconnect, I am sending you the Zoom link. So be on the lookout for it, probably within 5 or so minutes after we do that, so we can get to your question and we'll have that conversation, which is something else I'm going to do. Thank you for that. So lost my train of thought. Oh yes, let me put this out there for everybody, for any and everybody. I'm gonna just put this out here. I don't purport to know everything, right? Like I don't proclaim that I know every single thing. I don't, right? I'm gonna just be honest. I don't know every single thing. I'm not trying to know every single thing. Of course, I'm trying to know as much as I can to help as many people as I can. That's my goal. But there are some things that I just don't know. Some things I have yet to have been made aware of, right? So in the course of me saying something, if I'm ever wrong by any means, let me know. And I say that to say the reason I'm saying it is because there was a gentleman that when I was talking about the conversation we had last week, and he was extremely adamant that what I was saying was incorrect. And I'm like, okay, I believe that what I'm saying is correct. If you have something that can show me where I'm incorrect, by all means, please show me. And he replied and said that I was trying to be confrontational. I'm like, I'm really not trying to be confrontational. However, if you have evidence of something that is opposite of what I'm saying, let me know, because it's a win-win for everybody. One, I get educated, right? I'm not too prideful or too embarrassed to sit up here and say I was wrong. I'm not too prideful to say, hey, I made a mistake. If I say something and somebody be like, you know what, Aunt, that's not right. Here is how it really works. Here's the truth for that. I'll be the first person to go live on all platforms and say, yo, hey, I was wrong about this. Here's the truth. And to me, that's where the win-win comes from, because one, I learned something new. And two, because I learned it, the entire community learned it. And specifically, this was going back to the clip where the gentleman said if he made $100,000, he can put that into an insurance policy and it will somehow, some way be non-taxable. And I'm like, it don't work like that. And, because we had that conversation last week and he went back and forth and I'm like, It honestly don't. I can literally show you in the law where it says insurance premiums, life insurance premiums are not deductible. Business insurance, obviously it is because it's for the business. And he's like, oh, you got to go watch the whole thing. And I'm like, it's not about watching the whole entire video because that's not what I'm refuting. I am refuting just that one particular statement because that is the part that was incorrect. And it went on and on and on. But I only say that to say, look, y'all, if there's anything that y'all see me, call me out on it. By all means, let me know because we all win when that happens. All right? Please do that. Let's see here. Second, thanks to T-Town Tees for bringing up the Zoom thing because this here is something that I want to do. I want to try something new, y'all. I want to try something new. Like this is cool, right? I'm here. Y'all can see me. I can't see y'all. I cannot hear y'all. I can see the comments that you leave, right? I know that there's a delay of everything. So I want to be more engaging. I want to actually connect. So I want to see about maybe doing this via Zoom. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. Like, I really want to see about maybe setting it up where I send out like anybody who wants to volunteer to be on a Zoom call would shoot me an email or something like that. Give me your email and I can send out a Zoom link the day before, the night before, and we all literally just be on there live. And I think using Zoom, I can broadcast it out live to you. Matter of fact, I know I can, right? Because me and Donna, we did that when she came on and she gave us an excellent presentation on using, or at least organizing things when she came on. I think it was Zoom. But if that's something that y'all think is a good idea, something that some of y'all be willing to do, we can just come on here live. We don't have to be nothing formal. It always has to be respectful, right? But nothing formal. Just come on here, just chit chat, ask some questions, talk away, do what we need to do. Yeah. So, exact. Hey, Clockwise, I appreciate that. It says we hear that is true, and I appreciate that. Being here, I love it, but still, I want to be able to connect with y'all. I want to be able to see y'all. So again, if y'all down with the Zoom thing, by all means, here, I'm gonna put this here. Put my email on here just in case. My email is so long, and it's my email. Trying to be SEO friendly. So then put that there. Can I pin that? Yeah, and I'll pin that message there. So there's my email. It's up at the top. If you are down for the Zoom, we can hop on here live. It ain't really even got to be next week, right? It's something we can kind of plan for because I still need to get through and actually get to the whole. Since I started this live, I have set out to talk about taxes and filing tax returns and getting everything set up and going into doing that. And I just haven't done it because everything else keeps coming up, which leads me to, let's see here. T-Town said if I use Restream, I haven't heard of Restream. I'm about to check that out. That must be a new one. I can send the link to anyone and they can jump into the live on YouTube. Okay, Restream. How's that? Now, I know there's a bunch of them. Like what I'm using for this setup is vMix. I don't know if y'all have heard of vMix. So I got the Stream Deck here, vMix on the laptop, looking at the screen here. That's the setup. And I know that there's another StreamYard. I think that's another popular one that a lot of people are using to stream. But I'm definitely going to have to take a look into Restream. But that's something you can tell me about more when we hop on the Zoom call here in a few minutes. So what's new? What is new? What is new? Oh, I do got something for you. I need to play this real quick. I want to talk about this one. There's more social media. That, of course, it was announced to me on social media, but it's a little bit more than social media. So let me get this fired up here because this is something I've been saying for a while and it felt good. to finally have somebody say it and validate it. So let's take a look at this one. Let me see. First of all, let me know if y'all can hear it or if you get an echo or not, of course, because I can't hear. Like I said, that's why I like the Zoom. I can actually hear stuff. I hear it on my end, but I don't know what y'all hear. So I'm going to play this and y'all let me know what you think.
Yeah, that's right. Trump's #2 guy for the last 40 years has pled guilty to tax fraud. And can we just take a moment to appreciate how many people associated with Donald Trump have ended up in prison? Huh? His lawyer, his campaign manager, his deputy campaign chairman, now the chief.
So think about that. Donald Trump. First of all, was that clear enough? Was it echoey? Like, how was that? Because if that worked, then I think I didn't figure this thing out. But that is absolutely not shocking to me. And I say that because a lot of people, like, remember back, and I think it was even, especially when he was getting elected around the time when he was president. Oh, Donald Trump don't pay taxes. The rich don't pay taxes. It's confirmed. It's this, is, and the other. And I'm like, oh, so it did have an echo. Okay, appreciate y'all let me know that. So I'm gonna have to figure out where that echo is coming from and make sure we don't. But getting to my point, Donald Trump everybody was saying Trump don't pay taxes. And I've always said it's like is not the fact that the rich don't pay taxes, is not that there is nothing special legally. There's nothing special in the tax code that's going to allow somebody to avoid taxes. There is, I don't want to call it a loophole, but there is certain ways you can set up your lifestyle, right? Because capital gains, for example, capital gains is probably one of the greatest ways not to pay taxes. And here's how capital gains tax works. And I'm going to come back to Trump not paying taxes in a minute. But here's something that we all can strive for. And I'm going, me personally, I'm going to run the numbers and see how difficult or easy is that really attainable to do. Capital gains is a beautiful tax code that says if your taxable income, matter of fact, I think I can best explain this by actually showing a 1040 so we'll know. So let me pull one up real quick. All right, let me do this here. All right, so here is an actual tax return, right? This is the 1040, the latest one for tax year 2021. And then I've said this many times before, but if we look at lines 1 through 8, those are all of the types of income sources right there. But look at line 7. Line 7 is a very special line, capital gains tax. Because the way it works is real. When I was teaching this is like where a lot of people got hung up at, because in order to determine capital gains tax, you would have to first calculate all the other income, set that calculation to the side, go back and determine how much capital gain or loss you have. Then we'd have to take that number, go to another form, calculate that, then calculate the tax, and then come back and try. It was this big old whole ordeal. But once you got it, you understood, like, wow, there is an actual way to not pay taxes and yet have a lot of money. And it's all right there on line 7, the capital gains tax. Capital gain, let me put myself out here for a second so I can explain what a capital gain is. A capital gain is anytime you have made money off of an asset. Say, for example, the most popular capital gains are stocks and real estate. So you buy Apple stock for $100. And I know it's way more than that. I'm just giving a number. You buy Apple stock for $100. A couple of months later, Apple stock is now worth $600. So you sell it. right? You purchased it for $100, it went up to $600, and you sold it at $600. Well, you now have a $500 gain, right? Because you started off with 100 and now you with 6, so you have a $500 gain. That's a capital gain. Anytime you have an amount and that asset appreciates to a certain value and you cash out when it's higher up, that's a capital gain, okay? And the reverse is also something that can happen if you, going back to the Apple stock, if you paid $100 for it and all of a sudden it went down to zero and it was worth nothing and you sold it, well, then you have a capital loss of $100. But capital gain is very beautiful because as of now, and this could change, but I don't see it changing because it benefits a lot of people who are able to be in this particular situation. The IRS code says if your taxable income, and let me put this back on the screen here, right? So when we look at taxable income, we are going all the way down. Well, I got to do it on here. I'm sorry. Let me go to line 15, right? If your taxable income, this line right here, line 15, if that amount is an amount that's going to put you in the 10% or below tax bracket, then you pay zero tax on capital gains. Did that make sense? So if line 15 says, or if line 15 equates to an amount that puts you in a 10% tax bracket, you do not pay capital gains. The tax on your capital gains is zero. Does that make sense, right? Because that is where the tax-free living comes from, like literal tax-free living. If your line 15, if your taxable income is so small that it puts you in a 10% tax bracket, line 7, right, this line right here, can be $1 million and you won't pay tax on it. I'm gonna let that sink in for a second. I really want y'all to understand it. That's how people make their money. Well, that's how the rich really avoid tax. If you look at a wealthy strategy, they put a lot of their money into capital gains because they pay less tax on capital gains, period. So I know I'm repeating myself, but I want y'all to understand that the only way to pay zero tax is, one, your taxable income has to be low enough where it's only in the 10% or under tax bracket, and the rest of your income has to be capital gains. But here's the problem with that. That's not really guaranteed, right? Because we know stocks is one of the capital gains, right? You buy a stock at a certain price, it appreciates in value, you sell it when it's up there, that's a capital gain. But the stock market is always up and down, it's always volatile, it's always this and other. So you really can't depend on that for livelihood. Although if you are a real true investor and you understand how this works and you know how to look up companies and you know how to get into their finances, which is something real easy. I mean, we'll talk about that one of these days. Like, you can really go to Yahoo Finance. You can go to their, type in the company name and Google, and then type in investor relations. So let's say we want to go to Apple Investor Relations. There's a whole separate website that you can go to. You can download their balance sheet, their profit and loss statement. There's so much information you can get, and you take that raw data and you put it into a format that you understand, and you be like, okay, is this a company that I can invest in? What are the dividends paying out? I mean, I'm talking off grid now, but I'm saying if you're trying to get to that level, which is doable, it's doable. That is the only way you're going to pay zero taxes if you have a lot of capital gains, very low other income, because that way your capital gains is taxed at 0%. Real estate is another one, right? But a lot of times we don't make enough off real estate. Like if we got a couple of rental properties, that's fine. But a lot of times due to the mortgages, the property insurances, the taxes and everything like that, you don't really make enough to live off of. Think about that. Like you have to have enough capital gains to live off of. It has to pay your mortgage and or rent. It has to pay your food. It has to pay for your gas, your car, your clothing, your vacations, your, if you have children, it has to cover all of that. So that's why it's like, yeah, it's an admirable goal, but make it realistic. How many pieces of property does one have to own to make a living in real estate? And here's the thing though, the rental property, the rental income, and this is what I want us to understand really, the rental income is not capital gain. You only get that when you sell the property. So if you're buying property and you're getting rental income off that property, that's not capital gain. That's fully taxable. What the great thing about it is you don't pay self-employment tax on that rental income, but it is taxable income. It doesn't count as capital gain, so therefore it don't work like that, right? And to my point, going back to the fact that people say, oh, the rich don't pay taxes, Trump didn't pay taxes, and then you see it on the news that the reason Trump didn't pay taxes, or Trump's companies, or whomever, is because they were doing tax fraud. Like I can't make this up. I was screaming at the top of my lungs, telling people like, don't get caught up in these fancy things, right? Like schemes and everything that everybody wants you to get into to say, hey, I want to not pay taxes like the rich, so do this, go get the trust, go get these holding companies, go get these LLCs. Like I remember an artist, I wanted to find that clip so bad. Waka Flocka Flame, I do believe was his name. And he was like, he went on an interview and this went viral. Right, I think that was like the catalyst for all of this because it went viral. Because in the interview, he said he had a friend that studied the wealthy, and they figured out that this is how these people don't pay taxes. They put all this in trust and do all these fancy, complicated things. And as we can see, it don't work because Trump, one of the biggest icons of not paying taxes, the CFO. The chief financial officer, like when we look at corporate structures, the C-level officers are the top level people, And this individual has been found guilty of tax fraud. That's terrible. Like, so yeah, when we look at the documents and we can see, oh, look at this, there was no taxes paid. Well, then it comes out years later. Well, that's because it was fraud. If they would have did it right, there would have been taxes paid. And so I'm saying that passionately to you to say, don't try to get caught up in none of these fancy things. Like, get used to paying taxes. The goal for you, at least the goal I want us to be, is to make so much money that taxes is even a thing. Like, we look at the taxes and be like, oh, well, yeah, okay, I paid that, but I'm living good. Right? Like, so don't get caught up in that, man. Let's see. Oh, we got some. I see some comments coming in. Let me make sure I put that out here again. The Wisdom Show said, no. I'm trying to figure out. It says no income, no tax. I like that one. No income, no tax. I tell people all the time. Tell them all the time, like, hey, if you don't want to pay no tax, don't make no money. Very simple. Very simple. Okay. Then he also says, what is this, T-Town? You got to let me know here. It says, Buddy and I will be doing a room here. I'm not quite sure what that is. We're doing a room during the day in the next week or so. You got to give me a little bit more on that one. I'm not quite sure understanding what that one is. The Wisdom Show says, own nothing, control everything. I hear so many people saying that now, and I'm honestly trying to figure out what is the purpose of that saying. Again, I made a confession at the beginning of this. I don't know everything. So somebody please explain to me the concept of own nothing, control everything. Because like I said last week, I don't see what it does for you. Oh, I mean, the only thing I can see that concept being is if somebody is coming after you personally, they won't be able to get the assets because the assets thus belong in the trust or the business, and that is the extent that the creditor can come after of. But even in that, though, to me, a loss is a loss. If my business lost, well, let me back up. If I am dependent upon, let me state that. If I am personally dependent upon my business's income and my business took a hit, $100,000, if we took $100,000 loss, I am going to be personally affected. If no matter what's the type of entity, like if I got all of these things, like Tyrone Gregory owns nothing, so you can't personally come after Tyrone Gregory. But if Tyrone Gregory financially depends on the things that are inside of this trust, and yet they take everything in that trust because they're the extent of it, then I still am personally going to be affected. And so I'm really trying to wrap my mind around the concept of own nothing, control everything, because in either case, if it's mine and I lose it, I am going to be affected. Let me know if I'm wrong, right? Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I see. Okay, I see T-Town. I had to go back and check the comments. I see y'all been sitting in a lot of clubhouse rooms, listening to a lot of great people. Somebody else recently just mentioned the Clubhouse app to me. Not quite sure how to work. I haven't looked at it personally. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't went on it like my brother told me about it because he's a clinical psychiatrist, and so I guess there's rooms in there where they go and talk about mental health. I guess you just kind of go in and you chime in and just have conversations, which sounds amazing, by the way, but I haven't done so. So, well, let me know. So now that makes sense, right? So you and your buddy are going to be having your own room on the Clubhouse app, and y'all gonna be having some chats, man. Yeah, send me the information. Again, that's something else we definitely can talk about after this here is over, and let me know how I can get in on the room and like the chat. And I love to talk about business, man. That's one of the things that I do talk about when it comes to talking business strategies and things like that. Those are the kind of rooms that I want to be in, because I'm a firm believer, this is something I teach inside the course, that who you hang around is pretty much who you become. Like, and I don't know if we've heard it, that the Bible tells us iron sharpens iron, the continence of a friend. We hear it in books. I can think it was Jim Ryan, one of his books. What is it? The Highly Effective Habits of Highly Effective People or something like that, where he talks about you are the average of the 5 people you hang around. Let's see, what else? I'm trying to think what else there is. I mean, there's so many things, right? Like even growing up, your parents would tell you that, if you hang around 5 broke people, you're going to be the 6th, or birds of a feather flock together. So I love being in the right rooms. A lot of times when I'm in social settings, depending on the conversation, I am the quietest one. But the minute that somebody want to talk about taxes and business, well, my wife will give me that look and she be like, please don't, because boy, I'm about to ramble off. It's great things there. So yes. Oh, wow. So you've been listening to a lot of millionaires on there. Okay. When you say you're listening to a lot of millionaires on the Clubhouse app, let me ask, are they sharing something that isn't known? Let me ask that. Are they sharing something that isn't, I'm going to say, obvious? Because I honestly believe that a lot of things that we think are secret knowledge is honestly just, if we look, it's common knowledge. Like, for example, if you want to sell something, if you want to make money, you have to sell something, right? Like, without a sale, there is no money in your business. That we know. That is a foundational fact for any business. If you want to make money, you have to sell something, right? That's a foundational fact, nothing there. The question becomes, what are you selling and who are you selling it to? And I think once we can answer those 2 questions, then making $1 million may not be that hard. Like even for me, like I said, being completely transparent and open, even for me, I haven't reached my financial goal because technically I haven't sold nothing. I give a lot of information away for free. People can email me, DM me, ask a question. Sure. Here you go. And that's my fault. But that's because I just love this thing. I just love helping people and seeing people succeed. Like, I do have an option where you can book a consultation with me and there's a fee for that, but I don't promote it. It's like it's a link in the bio. You can go there if you choose to, but I don't redirect people to that link to say, yeah, that's a question, pay me. I don't. And that's really a fault of mine. I need to start charging. And actually I am, right? Because I just finished the book. I'm excited about the book. That's going to be probably one of the first products that I actually sell since being in business. Taxes, yeah, I provide a tax service, but I don't really sell tax services. That's something that sells itself. People say, can you do this? Sure. Well, how much it is? Well, for that, there's a price. To me, that's not selling. That is not selling. Selling requires a completely different strategy. Something, a completely different understanding, all kind of things, right? Like there is the science of persuasion that goes in selling, the psychology of selling, like that's different. So I haven't sold anything, but I am about to, and y'all are going to be with me on that journey. So we're going to see what kind of transformation that I'm doing. Because again, I know I need to sell something, and the question is, who am I selling it to? So, speaking of, man, I need to show y'all something. I want to show you how much time we got. Let me show y'all one more thing. And I know y'all said that was an echo, so I am going to try to not have the echo and do this while I play this here.
The experiment headline.
And I've heard this before, but I want to play it for you because this is important for anybody here that's trying to scale up. Pay attention to this. Like this hit home. I'm gonna say this one hurt my feelings because I was like, I am an idiot. Your favorite uncle cousin, I am an idiot. Why? Because I have not sold anything, right? And that just is crazy to me. But pay attention to this right here. Let's put this out here. Let me try to turn this up so y'all can hear it. But watch this.
The experiment making headlines by the chain Payless Shoes. They held a grand opening of a luxury store with a different name but the same shoes and charged hundreds more for those same shoes. Customers paid. Here's ABC's Kana Whitworth.
Behold, Palessi.
We built a fake luxury store in Los Angeles and filled it with Payless shoes. The guests at our grand opening party had no idea.
Guests invited to check out what looked like a luxury shoe shop.
They're elegant, sophisticated.
I just think it's so classy.
And I could tell it was made with high quality material.
A $35 shoe going for $645, an 1,800% markup. Store owners sat on their heels as fashion influencers emptied their wallets.
I would pay $400, $500. Yeah, people are gonna be like, where'd you get those? Those are amazing.
Then they're let in on the prank.
These are actually from Payless.
You've got to be kidding me.
Shut up. Are you serious?
But those shoppers were refunded their money and they got to keep the shoes.
David, Payless calling it a provocative social experiment designed to challenge today's image-conscious culture. Either way, it was an effective PR stunt.
Yeah.
David.
Clearly a marketing ploy, but they paid. Kana, thank you.
Did y'all? I feel like I'm speechless because that was like, okay, first of all, raise your hand if you remember Payless. Like, I can't find a Payless no more, right? Like, I really can't find a Payless shoe store no more. I just don't see them anymore. But I remember back in the day, I wore Payless shoes. They were called Pro Wings, right? If you raise your hand if you remember that. And I was talked about bad at school because I wore Pro Wing shoes. Like, I was getting clowned, right? Oh, Pro Wings, Payless, all these things, right? And that right there, right? The saying, it was funny, Palessi. That was a dig on Payless. The same exact shoe. Did y'all see the $34 shoe that got marked up to $645? And they bought it. Why is that? Why do we think that is something we need to implement right now, immediately? When we talk about changing, I feel like I'm gonna do a whole episode on that. See, every time I want to talk about taxes, something else comes up. But that needs to be said. Let me ask you a question. Put it in the chat. Are you where you want to be financially? Just yes or no. Put it in the chat right now. Are you where you want to be financially? Have you reached your financial goal? Right? Who this says? Champions. Now, bro, exactly. Man, my kids, and I promise you'll feel like waves, right? Because my kids, like, I remember Champs. Well, if I'm not mistaken, Champs was sold at Payless at one point in time. And I was telling my kid, like, get some Champs, but this was something years ago, and they was like, sure, well, you know, they wanted Nike, the name brand. Now Champs is up there with Nike. But it's the same brand, so it's like, what changed it? Value perception. That is something that I'm like, wow. Again, maybe because we running out of time, so we gonna have to do a whole episode on that next week or something like that. Again, I put my email, it's pinned to the chat, it's pinned up there. Email me if y'all down to do this via Zoom or something like that so we can talk about it. Because if you have not reached, and T-Towns, man, I appreciate your honesty saying that you haven't reached your financial pinnacle yet. Don't worry, me neither. I've set myself a new financial goal that I'm going to reach, and I am going to implement Payless's strategy. Like, that whole thing was a strategy. If you paid attention, it wasn't just the fact that they marked up their shoes. They did a whole, I'm gonna say, rebranding from Payless to Paylessi, right? So now that sounded like it was some sort of Italian designer, Versace, right? Then notice that they invited influencers. Think about that. This is part of that whole the value strategy, right? They invited influencers, people who were in that field, right? Fashion influencers. Think that was a whole strategy. They invited fashion influencers, changed the name, changed the branding. And did you see the accent branding that was there? Accent. Like when you think about trying to sell something, what do you have as an accent? Think about, I don't want to give y'all this because this is part of the course. But you know what? I'm gonna give it to you anyway. So in the course, I break it down about accent branding. Like Nike is an athletic brand. Okay. So when Nike do their branding, do you ever see business people in Nike shoes, like in a business suit, in a full three-part suit with some Nike tennis shoes on? You don't, because it's not part of their accent brand. They're the accent branding. Every time you see Nike put on an ad, it's going to be with somebody that is athletic, doing something athletic. That is the accent to the brand. It helps people make that connection. And for somebody to see a shoe that's $34 regularly, what made them want to pay $649? It couldn't have been the shoe itself. It was not the shoe itself. Go find that link. Look at that. Go back and study that. It wasn't the shoe itself. It was everything else around that shoe. It was the other influencers that was there. It was the fake paparazzi that was there. It was the accent to the branding. They was bringing in statue lions, right? Everything else around that brand is what gave it the appearance that it was valuable. That was it, right? Yeah, Evan, you are absolutely right? Evan says that they did a rebrand to show people are just as good as high-end in market. It's your perception of value, absolutely. But perception of value also comes from the individual. How do you perceive your own value? Why are your prices not high? And I continue, I'll raise my hand because I am guilty of this. Like, I had a whole course that's here on the wall. Matter of fact, here you can see it in this camera. Like that whole course is outlined on the wall. And you know what? I never really did anything with it. I'm about to put it inside the community now, which is, thanks for reminding me, Tyrone. That course is going to be inside the community because I didn't place any value on it, so I didn't sell it. I didn't do anything with it. It sat there and it was like, I didn't place no value on it, so how can I expect anybody else to place value on it, right? But I know it's valuable. When I look at it now, and it's like, man, I know it's valuable because people really need to hear that based on what's being said here, right? So now I know it's valuable, so now I'm about to put it somewhere where the value will be, okay? And speaking of the community, I've still heard some people say they probably didn't get the email. Please check your spam, because I know a lot of the emails that I sent out went to the spam folder because they probably didn't recognize the email that it came from. So if you have not got your community email yet, check your spam and then let me know. And then also probably by Monday, check your spam again, because you're going to get a new email that is going to be sent out. So between now and Monday, because I might even do it the Saturday if the family ain't got me running around and the wife got me doing honeydews. But I'm just saying, check the spam folder, all right, for the community. But that is crazy to me. And Evan, I think they did close down all the locations, if I'm not mistaken. Like, they did that to prove a point, but I haven't seen the Payless in a very long time, right? And let's even think about Crocs. Look, you see how Crocs are making a huge comeback. Like, I remember I was walking around in Crocs and my kids clowned. Like, oh my God, they talked about me. They like, oh, you got in them old man shoes. You working them old man, woo, 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 woo. And now my son got every color pair of Crocs and think he fly. And I just sit there and I be like, you gonna talk about me when I had them, but now, you know, it's the popular thing. Now you got every pair of color of them. And it's crazy to me. Back when I was buying Crocs, they wasn't $50. I think maybe you can get some Crocs for under $20. Now they $50 a pair. It's crazy. But value perception, my good people, value perception. Lady, ADOS, I see you want to come. Look, my email is definitely pinned to the top. Shoot me an email. We'll definitely set up the consultation and make that happen. Yes. Let's see here. I'm trying to go through the comments to make sure I ain't missed nothing. What is this? Somebody said avoiding liability. Okay, got that. Millionaires try and sell you things. Yes, T-Town. They will. That's how they got their millions. They selling. I feel like we need to do a whole thing on selling things. Like even if you didn't put into the chat that you've reached your financial goal, but you know you may be thinking it. Maybe we need to do a whole section just on sales. Like, how do you sell a product? Like, how do you really make sales? How do you get there to $1 million? It's so, I don't want to say it's so easy, but the people who are actually selling are actually making money. That's all I can say about that. If you truly want to make money, then you truly have to sell something. And I'm about to start selling things. Y'all know, y'all gonna see it. This is something we can do together. I'm gonna be very open with the process. Like, say, for the book, that's probably gonna be the first thing I sell. The book is titled, Protect Your Profits: How to Avoid the #1 Financial Mistake That Entrepreneurs Make When Starting a Business. Like I said, I love talking. That title is very long and very loquacious, but that's the title of the book. I just sent it off to the editor, the graphic editor, to go add the graphics, who's going to format it in ebook and all that stuff. So hopefully I should have that back by the time we go live next week, and I'll be able to show it to y'all. I am building out funnels for it. I'm going to, everything is going to be at this point very strategic. Even today, as part of a bonus for the individuals who buy the book, because it's PDF form and I get to put links in the back. So today I recorded 3 additional videos. Even though this isn't a video, it's an actual ebook. I recorded 3 additional videos for a template that I made. For those who buy the book, they get access to these 3 Excel templates where they can either download it to their computer or they can access it on a Google Drive, but shows them how to do cash flow, profit and loss, and quarterly estimated payments, which is part of the whole thing of protecting your profits. But just selling, get the whole process, and then the whole reciprocity. Like, if you haven't looked into the science of persuasion, oh man, it is a beautiful thing. As a matter of fact, I'm reading this book called Yes, which goes into a lot of things of the science of persuasion, but it goes into the research behind it. I love reading research articles. I love to see how the psychology of the human mind works. And it's amazing how the littlest thing has the biggest impact. Man, we got some things to do here. So look, we are at an hour. I appreciate y'all being here with me. It was great. Any questions, by all means, let me know. Man, here, let's see here. I want to make sure I got everything. Got everything. Get through all the comments. Appreciate everybody being here. T-Town, I am getting ready to send you that email. Gonna get that Zoom, so be looking for that within the next 5 minutes or so. But that's it for me, family. Again, shoot me an email. I'm asking about the Zoom because I want to be more interactive. Like, I want to be on a Zoom call, or T-Town is about to let me know about what was the one you said? It was another platform we can use to get on and stream live, restream, I think you said. Yeah, I'm gonna look into that one. but I want us to be not just me. I want to be interactive, right? Like that's the whole point of me being live. I want to be accessible to my community, of course. For those who catch it live, they lucky because the replays are not going to be live. They're only going to be in the community. So if they don't catch it live, then, and in that part of the community, they won't get access to that, because I want to be fair to those of you who do take your time out to spend your 1 hour with me every week. I appreciate it. I want to show you love for that. I want to be reciprocal of that. So yes, that is it for me, my good people. I am going to go sign out now because me and T-Town got some things to talk about. And then outside of that, yeah, I don't think I'm... There we go. I was hearing music being played. So, you know the rules. Follow me definitely on Instagram, here on YouTube. If you have subscribed, make sure that you do. Make sure you hit that ring notification so you'll get notified when I'm going live and you won't miss out, because we got a lot of things to talk about, trying to get people to grow. I'm trying to do what we can for the best of us. And y'all know, I know it's hard out there being an entrepreneur, especially if you're a solo entrepreneur. So you know what I say, keep your head to the sky. Know that I love y'all, and I will see y'all on next week. See you then. All right.